thought, Bond was leaving me. When am I going to see him again in another 4 hours? Also, you bleed a lot, 6 weeks. So my advice for all the new mummies out there is basically don't push yourself to do too much.
Hi, I'm in a bit of a rush, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Today it's going to be me vlogging. I'm going to be showing everyone what I'm doing today and also doing a bit of sharing about my postnatal experience. I have to admit, I've been pretty bad with being on time lately. I'm constantly late. Before you leave the house, there's just so much stuff to get ready and to make sure everything's okay before I leave. I'm ducking out for a couple of hours today to get my hair cut and recolored, finally, after like 8 months of not doing any color to my hair because I was pregnant. And I'm gonna get my nails done all in one hit. And at the same time, I'm gonna be sharing a bit of my maternity and post-maternity experiences with you. I'm counting down to the hours in which I need to get home because I haven't dyed my hair for over 6 or 7 months, so it's going to take a long time. I need to get cut. And also I'm getting my nails done at the same time, so I'm trying to save time, but at the same time it takes like 4 hours, so I need to get home ASAP. Let me just pick the colors. But I'd rather do it all in one hit today than having to come out another time, parking and stuff. So massive redo. It's going to take me a good few hours. So I thought today I'd also share a bit about my postnatal experiences with you. I think I'll separate it into a few vlogs because during different stages your emotions feel a lot different. So today I'm going to talk about the postnatal stage where I just had my C-section in the hospital and your emotions are jumping everywhere. But I'm going to let this gentleman do my hair first and hopefully I won't look too crazy.
I really wanted to complete the vlog all in one day the other day while I was kind of doing my errands and getting my hair done, but there was just too much happening at the same time and it was a bit inconvenient to film with your hair all over the place. Recolored my hair, gotten a little trim, I did my nails. Kind of feel like I'm back to my old self again, but not completely, if you know what I mean. Very nice day today and baby is asleep upstairs, so I think it gives me a little time to finish filming my vlog. So what I really wanted to share in this vlog is my postpartum experience. I think a lot of women don't talk about their postpartum experience openly because it is very emotional and you're definitely not at your best after birth. When I was pregnant, I had it pretty easy. Like, I didn't get a lot of morning sickness, I didn't put on a lot of weight, and Boss Baby was very good to me. Everything was very smooth sailing. So what I overlooked was how I needed to prepare myself emotionally and mentally and physically after birth. A lot of friends were telling me after birth, breastfeeding is very hard. I shifted my focus all the way to breastfeeding. I didn't pay too much attention to what I'd expect straight after birth. So I had a C-section, it was planned, and the surgery itself was very smooth. I stayed at hospital for about 5 days and my wound healed very well. I was in bed for 2 days after my C-section surgery, which wasn't too painful, was on painkillers. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Did you miss me?
No. I'm talking about my postpartum experience. Yeah, for him it was more breezy, obviously, because he didn't have to go through the surgery and everything, but definitely it was very exciting and he was very nervous.
I was there every step of the way.
Yeah, he was there every step of the way. But I'm just talking about emotionally and what people should expect after birth, because everyone focuses a lot on their pregnancy and breastfeeding, but like myself, I didn't read a lot about how my body changes straight away after birth.
Look after your wife.
Bye. Anyways, so let's start from straight after the surgery. Straight after the surgery, I thought I'd be super tired. For some reason, I couldn't sleep and I was just so overwhelmed, so excited. I really wanted to hold the baby. They said, do some skin to skin. It's really good for your milk supply and it's really good bonding. So I was looking forward to that. So the first day, basically, I didn't really rest that much at all. And I was a bit too enthusiastic about being a mom. So I really wanted to try and breastfeed. I really wanted to learn how he latched. And I really wanted to see what I can learn in that day. And then by the second day in hospital, I was so tired. So tired. The doctor would come in and do his checkups on the baby and myself and my wound. And I remember when he was talking to me, I was kind of like dozing off, falling asleep. And being tired apparently is not so great for your milk supply when you're breastfeeding, especially after a C-section, because your body hasn't registered that the baby has been born yet. So I was really struggling. Another thing that no one told me about was how much you'd swell after your surgery. If you look at my pregnancy photos, I didn't really bloat or swell that much. But straight after the C-section, maybe because it was the anesthetic or the fact that your body had to get rid of all the water that it had inside, I was swelling like crazy. I've never seen myself so swollen. My eyes were swollen, my hand, my feet were swollen. You think that after the baby, all the weight would be lifted off and you could finally sleep on your back and have a good night's rest and not need to go to the toilet every 4 hours, 5 hours. But that was not the case. So when you're trying to rest, every few hours someone would come in and check your blood pressure and check whether you had a temperature, also gave you painkillers, and they'll wake you up for that. So you wouldn't be able to sleep anything more than 3 hours anyways. And then every couple of hours you need to feed your baby. And the struggle was really hard because initially you won't have any breast milk and it was only colostrum. So the swelling lasted for maybe 11, 12 days. So even after leaving the hospital, I was still quite swollen. But it does go away, so don't fret. I was asking my confinement lady, why am I all swollen? My fingers, my feet, I didn't even swell when I was pregnant. And she told me that it was completely normal. Also, you bleed a lot. You go through what they call the longest period ever, which lasts for around 6 weeks. No matter whether you gave natural birth or a C-section. I didn't really talk to my friends about that, and not a lot of my friends mentioned that to me. Obviously, I had a lot of questions. I was asking the doctor and he said everything is normal. Emotionally, I felt very unstable as well. They call it baby blues, like you just feel like what's happening to my life. There's just so many changes and you need to really stay positive. And it was really great to have Jason with me all the way, and he was there with me at the hospital every single night. I'm very blessed for that because every time he left for work, I felt a little bit unstable. Like, oh my God, Bond is leaving me. When am I going to see him again in another 4 hours? It was kind of like that. You'd think once the baby's born, your whole focus would be on the baby, but it doesn't shift that quickly because newborns, they don't really react to any of your emotions. You can't really communicate with them. They just cry, eat, sleep, poo, burp. All of the above that I just mentioned is all new to you because you need to learn how to burp a baby, feed a baby, what's happening when he's crying. You need to learn about how he's latching for breastfeeding. You need to get your breast milk supply going, and at the same time you need to rest. So everything seemed really tedious and full on. And then you kind of think to yourself, am I ever going to have a normal life again? I know this sounds really bad, but it's what you go through straight after birth. You feel like this is going to be the best thing that's ever happened to our family, but it is going to be the biggest commitment that you'll ever commit yourself to because this is 24/7, 365 days a year, and for the rest of your life. Oh my God, I'm a terrible mom. So what I thought was, after giving birth, everything was going to be simple. I just need to feed him and he'll go back to sleep. And when he sleeps, I can just watch TV or enjoy some time with my husband, but that was not the case. I think I was a little bit too happy-go-lucky about the whole situation. Has anyone tried this place? It's called 12 Cupcakes. Apparently it's a Singaporean brand and I'm in love with this red velvet cupcake. They say when you breastfeed, you don't have to diet, you can eat whatever you like. Yeah, so for the first week, I really missed my husband. And you were constantly tired. It's quite ironic because they tell you you need to rest, you need to sleep, and you need to eat properly to to get your milk supply going. But you just can't rest because every 2 hours they'll ask you to feed your baby. So my advice for all the new mummies out there is basically don't push yourself to do too much whilst you're at the hospital. Don't be too ambitious about breastfeeding. It's okay to supplement a little bit initially, because if you don't supplement your baby, or if he's dehydrated, he might have jaundice and he might have to stay at hospital for another week. And so that's kind of like an option that I took. I supplemented. So on the 5th day I was able to leave hospital. My wound didn't hurt as much on the 6th day, so by the time I got home I was completely off painkillers. My tummy still looked about 4 to 5 months pregnant, because obviously you had to make room for the baby, and then when the baby's born it takes a lot of time for your stomach to kind of shrink back to its normal size. So now it's about 7 weeks or so. I'm not back to my pre-pregnancy weight yet, but I'm in no rush because it takes time and it's very unhealthy to lose all the weight so quickly. When we got home, the first few days were very stressful because you're trying to reorganize the logistics at home. So you need to actually put what you've planned for all those months in action, and you think, oh, I have everything ready, I have all the equipment I need, the bottles, the nappies and stuff. But then you get home and you realize that, oh, I put the nappies here and it's not convenient because I want to change the diapers on the couch or like in the living room. We realized that all the clothes we bought for our baby were a bit too big, so he had nothing to wear. And my mum, grandma, had to duck out quickly to get a few newborn outfits because everything was too big on him. We bought swaddles in Australia and they were too thick. I gave birth in the middle of summer and it was really, really hot. So for me, I was really lucky because Jason was around, my mum was here, I had a confinement lady and also my helper. So anything that didn't go so smoothly as planned or anything that was missing from home, there was bound to be someone that could take care of it. And I felt much happier when I got home. The food was much better because my confinement lady is a great cook. You just feel more comfortable in your own bed, you know, wear some comfortable PJs. Really felt like, oh, I'm back home with my baby. When you're at the hospital, it feels a bit sterile. The service at the hospital was great, you know, the nurses and the doctors were great, but you can't really just sit back and chill out like it's your own home. So once I was home, I was much happier. So the emotional side of postpartum is very true. For some reason, you're easily overwhelmed and you cry really easily. I remembered I was crying about some really stupid stuff, like it just happens, you can't control it. Jason was helping out with something and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I started crying. Or when I was trying to learn how to change the baby's diapers, I started crying because I thought, oh my God, I'm such a bad mom, I can't change his diapers. So all these weird situations hit me and it was totally unexpected. Another thing I was really thankful for was I had a lot of friends who were already mums, and they all texted me and said, if you need to talk, if you need anything, you know, you can always reach out. And it's good to have a support network because you feel really lost. Even though I had my mum there and I had a confinement lady there, you still feel like you wanted to ask people what they were going through emotionally for them and stuff like that. Maybe it was just me because I really didn't ask for any advice in regards to after giving birth, because I thought, you know, it wouldn't be that hard. I have the confinement lady, I have my mum, and they've been there and done that. I'm sure I'd be fine. But when you go through it yourself, it's a completely different story. Back in the days before I was a mum, when I used to hang out with my friends who have kids, whenever their babies or toddlers started crying or started to be just a little bit difficult, I'd be like, okay, you can go back to mommy and daddy, I can't handle this. I'm not sure if any of you felt like that before, but when it comes to your own baby, you just have so much patience, so much patience. No matter how difficult it is, how tired you are, how much they're crying, you're just so patient with them. So that was like my postpartum experience for the first 10-15 days. To be honest, those 10-15 days did go by quite slowly for me. It's no lie, it is difficult and it is tough. And it's still very tiring right now. I'm around week 7 postpartum, but I feel like I'm getting the hang of stuff a little bit more. So I feel a little bit more confident about parenting, and I am reading a few books, so I feel like I'm a little bit more equipped. Oh, another thing I forgot to talk about is the postpartum sweating. I didn't know you sweat that much. Every time I woke up from a nap, I was sweating. I was in my confinement in the middle of summer. I had long PJs with long sleeves, and it just seemed like I was constantly sweating, and I wasn't allowed to have the aircon on full blast. Apparently it's normal. A few of my friends said it was normal. Some of my friends who had babies in winter didn't mind it as much, but I think during summer it is quite intolerable. This vlog would probably be vlog number 1, talking about my postpartum experience in the initial stages, some of the emotional changes and physical changes. So the next vlog, I might talk to everyone about my confinement, which is very important in Chinese culture, and I do really believe that every woman after birth should go through confinement for at least 1 month. So I'm going to talk about that next time on my other vlog. If you guys have any sort of experiences you want to share, any tips for me in regards to parenting, please leave a message or a comment for me. It's been really great to have all your support. I love reading the comments that you guys leave. If I think of anything else, I might share it in my next vlog as well. Bye!